5.
Welcome back to Road Stadium here in Tuscaloosa. Alabama and Samford here in the midweek. The Crimson Tide, 2 straight days of hosting in-state opponents as Alabama hosts Samford tonight and UAB tomorrow before Virginia Tech comes to town this weekend. Here is the starting lineup for the Samford Bulldogs. The starters are presented by DCH Health System. DCH Health System has been providing quality and compassionate health care in West Alabama for nearly 100 years. DCH is a champion for your health and proud supporters of the Crimson Tide. The Bulldogs 6 and 19 entering today's ball game, 1-6 in true road games this year on a 1-game losing streak for their head coach, Kimball Cassidy. Sarah Squalache will lead things off. She plays second base. Center fielder is Michaela Cothran. She bats second. Batting third, the designated player, Olivia Shaw. The batting fourth is Kate Campbell, the first baseman. Logan Champion will catch and bat fifth. Batting sixth is the third baseman, Greer Bruce. Lindsay Hargis, the shortstop, bats seventh. Batting eighth is Ansley Yantis, the right fielder. And Addison Smith, the left fielder, will bat ninth. They'll face in the circle for Alabama, the right-handed freshman from Phoenix, Arizona, Jocelyn Brisky. Brisky on the year with a 3.23 ERA and a 3-0 record. 7th appearance and 3rd start of the year. She has 1 complete game. She's pitched 21 2/3 innings on the season. The first pitch is high for ball 1. 21 hits, 11 runs, 10 earned. She's walked 7, struck out 23. Opponents hitting .247 against Brisky on the season. The 1-0 is slapped into the glove. 1 ball and 1 strike on Sarah Squalache. Squalache on the year, batting .278, 25 of 90, 13 runs scored, 2 doubles, a triple, and 9 RBIs. That's a called strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes on her now. Defensively for the Crimson Tide, Jenna Johnson in left, Larissa Pruitt in center, Kendall Clark in right, Bailey Dowling at third, Kelly Cahalan at short, Callie Heaven at second, Abby Dukesher at first. Slap foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Riley Valentine catching, Brisky pitching, and Essman is the DP. Umpires for today's ball game, Tanya Cash is behind home plate, Aaron Golden at first, and Derek Wilkins, the third base umpire. The 1-2 pitch. Checked her swing on the slap. She didn't go, and the pitch comes in a little low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now the 2-2. And that's a ground ball. Is going to get by Dowling into left field. And that's a leadoff single for Squalache. First inning is presented by Barclay GMC of Tuscaloosa for over 42 years. Barclay makes it easy online at barclaygmc.com. That brings up Michaela Cothran, the center fielder. Infield playing in, especially on the left-hand side for the bunt. That one's popped up foul, and it will get down in foul ground for strike 1 on Cothran. Cothran batting .325, 26 of 80, 15 runs scored, 2 doubles, a triple, and 9 RBIs on the season. Pulls back the bunt, comes in high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Alabama leads the all-time series 25-2 over Samford, with those 25 wins all in a row since the Bulldogs won the first 2 meetings in 1997. The 1-1 pulls back the bunt, takes a called strike, 1-2. These 2 programs last met last year in a home-and-home series, with Bama winning 3-2 in Tuscaloosa and 6-2 in Birmingham. Tide is 41-4 all-time against the current makeup of the SoCon. 1-2 pitch, fouled off at the plate. We'll do it again. 1 ball and 2 strikes. One-two pitch. Oh, that comes right in, buckles the knees, called strike 3. And there's 1 away on the first strikeout of the ball game by Jocelyn Brisky. Tide strikeouts are brought to you by Barclay GMC of Tuscaloosa for over 42 years. Barclay makes it easy online at barclaygmc.com. Olivia Shaw steps in. The first pitch is high, and it bounces away from Riley Valentine. So moving to second what probably will be a pass ball is Squillace. Yes, it is a pass ball. And 1-0 count on Shaw. Right-handed hitting designated player. Takes that one. I guess a little bit high, 2-0. Tanya Cash, fortunately, it's a notoriously small strike zone. 2-0. Called strike, 2-1. Shaw batting .297, 19 of 64 with 12 runs scored, 3 doubles, and 8 RBIs on the season. The 2-1 pitch. Back to Brisky. She has it. Will throw to first. Runner takes third. There's now 2 away. Ball got on her so quick. Brisky might have had a chance to get the runner at third, but she just looked to first to get the out. And Katie Campbell steps in. First pitch, fouled away. 4 strike 1. Campbell batting .292, 19 of 65, 16 runs scored with 2 doubles. Leads the team with 7 homers and 26 RBIs. The 0-1. High and inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 outs, runner on third, just underway. No score between Samford and Alabama. Tied back home, taking on a different set of Bulldogs here this evening. That one comes up high, 2-1. Against Georgia, Brisky made 2 appearances. 3 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, both earned with a walk and 2 strikeouts. Swing and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Left the game with a slight re-aggravation of her arm injury on Saturday, but was deemed good to go on Sunday as that one comes in high and the count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. She was taken out of the game just for precaution. Payoff pitch. Off speed, and that one fouled off. Almost got a piece of the runner at third. It's down foul, and the count remains 3-2. Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. And Campbell is down on strikes to end it here in the top of the first inning for Samford. The Bulldogs get a runner to third, but can't get her home. For Samford here in the first inning, no runs on a hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. We played a half inning. Samford nothing. Alabama coming to bat here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from their field. We head to the bottom of the first inning. No score between Alabama and Samford. And here is the DCH starting lineup for the Crimson Tide, ranked number 13 in the country. In every poll and rankings, major poll and rankings, after this past weekend, Alabama either stayed the same or moved up in those rankings. Alabama now 22-5 overall and 10-3 here at the Rhodes House on a 1-game winning streak under head coach Patrick Murphy. The starters are presented by DCH Health System. DCH Health System has been providing quality and compassionate health care in West Alabama for nearly 100 years. DCH is a champion for your health and proud supporters of the Crimson Tide. Jenna Johnson will lead things off. Playing left field, second baseman Callie Hevlin bats second. Abby Dukeshire, the first baseman, bats third. Kinley Cahalan, shortstop, bats fourth. Bailey Dowling, third base, batting fifth. Kendall Clark, the right fielder, bats sixth. Lauren Essman, designated player, batting seventh. Riley Valentine, catching, batting eighth. And Larissa Pruitt, the center fielder, will bat ninth. Here comes the first pitch to Jenna Johnson. Misses outside for ball one. That pitch came from the right-handed junior from Macon, Georgia, the transfer from FIU, Jordan Partain. Partain on the year with a 4.41 ERA and a 3-8 record, the 1-0. There's a strike, 1-1. 15th appearance and 13th start. She has 8 complete games. She's pitched 66 and 2/3 innings, 73 hits, 55 runs, 42 earned, walked 50, struck out 44. Opponents batting .282 against Partain on the years. That one spins outside, 2-1. Defensively for the Bulldogs, Smith in left, Cawthron in center, Yantis in right, Bruce at third, Hargis at short, Squalache at second, Campbell at first, Champion catching, Partain pitching, and Shaw the DP. The 2-1. Johnson fouls it away, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jenna batting .263, 15 of 57, 24 runs scored with 3 doubles, 2 homers, and 8 RBIs. Against Georgia, she was 2 of 8 with a run scored, a home run and RBI. Their solo homer on Sunday in the 4th inning started the big 5-run 4th inning rally. It gave Alabama the 5 runs they needed to win that ball game. Johnson fouls that one back. The count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. First inning is presented by Barclay GMC of Tuscaloosa. For over 42 years, Barclay makes it easy. Online at barclaygmc.com. The 2-2 comes in high, and the count's full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Today's weather and field condition report is brought to you by the Cook Museum of Natural Science. Discover something amazing at the Cook Museum of Natural Science in downtown Decatur, Alabama. For more information, visit cookmuseum.org. Payoff pitch. Johnson with a fly ball, shallow center. That one will be caught on the run. A diving catch made by Cawthron. And she steals a base hit away from Jenna Johnson to start things off here in the first inning. Jenna didn't get as much on that one as she wanted to drive it, but looked like it might drop in. But a great diving catch by Cawthron. Keeps her off the base paths, and there's one gone for Callie Hevlin. First pitch to Hevlin. Backdoors in for a called strike. Hevlin batting .267, 20 of 75 with 10 runs scored, 3 doubles, 4 homers, 17 runs driven in. Had a good weekend in Athens. The 0-1. It's outside, 1-1. Hevlin was 3 of 9 with 2 runs scored, a homer and an RBI. Hit a home run off the right field foul pole. The 1-1 pitch. Little outside, 2-1. 58 degrees at first pitch under sunny skies. The wind is blowing out 7 to 10 miles an hour. A little bit chilly, but a beautiful day here in T-Town. The 2-1. Hevlin lines that one foul down the left field line. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 200 down the lines, 220 to straightaway center field here at the Rhodes House. 6-foot wall all the way around in the outfield. Crimson Chaos Day here at the Rhodes House. 2-2 is low, and the count is full, 3-2. Payoff pitch to Hevlin. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Fooled her with the off speed. Got Hevlin a chase, and there's 2 gone. That brings up the first baseman, Abby Dukeshire. Duke batting .363, 29 of 80, 10 runs scored, 4 doubles, leads the team with 6 homers, as well as having 26 runs driven in. First pitch, high for ball 1. Duke was 2 of 9 with 2 RBIs against Georgia this past weekend. 1-0. Little outside, 2-0. Late arriving crowd, but a lot of people out enjoying the sun in the Brickyard. The 2-0. Drops in for a called strike, 2-1. One's too high, and the count's full, 3-1. Excuse me, moves to 3-1. Alabama going to have to make the adjustment offensively to gear it down just a little bit because Retain doesn't have the velocity that the Georgia pitchers they just faced did. But she is getting the off-speed pitches for called strikes like that one, and the count is full, 3-2. Drop in the curve working for her here in this first inning. Payoff pitch. Dukeshire takes it low for ball 4. Abby Dukeshire is the first base runner of the ball game for the Crimson Tide here with 2 outs. Alabama looking to get on the board first with Kinley Cahalan stepping to the plate. Cahalan batting .289, 22 of 76, 14 runs scored, 3 doubles, 2 homers, and 11 RBIs on the season. First pitch, outside for ball 1. Cahalan had the best average of anybody this past weekend in Athens, went 3 of 8 with a run scored, 2 doubles, a homer, and 3 RBIs. So all 3 of her base hits were extra base hits. The 1-0. That's hammered to first, but the catch is made on the line drive by Campbell for out number 3 to retire the side. And that was just hit on a rope by Cahalan, but unfortunately right at the Samford first baseman, and that'll do it for the Tide. Here in the first, no runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 runner left. We played an inning, no score between Alabama and Samford here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Has fallen behind. Someone does not want a coupon, I am sensing. And here we go, big drum roll, please.
The second inning is presented by Yellowhammer Brewing Company, Alabama's finest craft brewery. Hit your stride with a refreshing Yellowhammer beer, now available at stores near you. We move to the top of the second inning, 0-0 between Alabama and Samford. Due up for the Bulldogs here in the second, Champion, Bruce, and Hargis. 5-6-7. Jocelyn Brisky back out for her second inning of work. Samford got a runner to third, but couldn't get her home in the first inning. Logan Champion, the catcher, will lead things off, right-handed hitting in the first pitch. Is to the backstop for ball 1. Champion junior, batting .316, 25 of 79, 17 runs scored, 2 triples, a homer, and 13 runs driven in on the season. A little high again, 2 balls and no strikes. Alabama's head coach is Patrick Murphy. He's in his 26th season as the Alabama head man. 2-0, fouled back, and that hit Tanya Cash directly in the face mask. And both Derek Wilkins and Aaron Golden come in from first and third to make sure that she's all right. She held up the hand, says she's good, and go back to your spots. Murph has a Alabama head coaching record of 1,260 victories, 360 losses, a .788 winning percentage. That's a chopper to short. The backhand by Cahalan. The throw in time for out number 1. Nice play by Cahalan. Moving over to her right at deep short to make that stop and throw in plenty of time to get champion for the first out. Now we'll bring up the third baseman, Greer Bruce. First pitch to Bruce. In there for a strike, 0-1. Caleb Rowe is the assistant coach for the Crimson Tide. The pitching coach is Lance McMahon. The hitting coach is Adam Arbor. The 0-1. Strike 2. Ryan Iamurray is the coordinator of player development. Director of softball operations, Jaden Spencer, affectionately known as Ribs. The 0-2. Popped up on the infield. Hevlin charges in. She'll make the catch from second base for out number 2.
Shortstop number 14, Lindsay Hargis.
AC Tinka, the athletic trainer. Strength and conditioning coach is Michelle Diltz. Nathan Sheehan. Sports information, Scott Moyer. The video director, assistant video director, Lindsay Garcia. Equipment manager, Stu Moore. And the sports nutritionist, Brianna Leonard. The first pitch is in there for a called strike on Lindsay Hargis, the shortstop. 2 out, nobody on here in the second inning. Hargis batting .243. 17 of 70, 14 runs scored with 2 homers and 11 RBIs on the season. The 0-1. Called strike, 0-2. For Samford, their head coach is Kimball Cassidy. She's in her 3rd season as the head coach of the Bulldogs. Pitching coach, Jeff Gillespie. The assistant coach, TJ Dixon. That one's cued off the end of the bat, foul. Count remains, no balls and 2 strikes. Mentioned Samford in the SoCon. Now having a quick meeting in the circle. Patrick Murphy comes out to talk with Jocelyn Brisky. They've yet to play a SoCon game. They'll open up the SoCon season against Chattanooga this weekend. The 0-2 is high, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Their only other matchup with an SEC team, they played at Mississippi State on March 3rd and took an 11-1 loss. The 1-2 is high, 2 balls and 2 strikes. They only got 1 game in this past week. They played Jacksonville State, lost 4-3. That one misses outside, and the count's full, 3-2 on Lindsay Hargis. Payoff pitch, low for ball 4. So a 2-out walk keeps the inning alive. Hargis takes first, and now Ansley Yantis, right fielder, steps in. Yantis batting .261, 18 of 69, 10 runs scored with 3 doubles and 14 RBIs on the season. First pitch, right in there for a called strike. Alabama in the all-white uniforms today, the white jerseys with crimson script Bama across the chest. white pants, and crimson socks. The 0-1, high, 1-1. Samford in the all dark blues. Dark blue jersey with Samford in white block lettering with outlined in red across the chest. Blue pants, blue socks with red stripes. That one just missed a touch high. 2-1. Valentine held it there an extra second to make sure Tanya Kadich saw it. Looks like a strike to me. On the replay, didn't get the call. The 2-1. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Sun setting to our left. About 75% of the field in shadow now. The 2-2 pitch, runner goes, it's pop foul. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Another 2-2. That one's right in there for a called strike 3. Yantis is down on strikes, and that'll do it for Samford here in the second inning. 3 strikeouts now on the day for Jocelyn Brisky for the Bulldogs in the second. No runs, no hits, no errors, and runner left on base. We move to the home half of the second. Still 0-0 between Alabama here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. The second inning is presented by Yellowhammer Brewing Company, Alabama's finest craft brewery. Hit your stride with a refreshing Yellowhammer beer, now available at stores near you. We head to the home half of the second. Still scoreless between Alabama and Samford, due up for the Tide here in the second. It'll be Dowling, Clark, and Essman, 5, 6, 7. Against Jordan Partain in the circle for Samford. Alabama got a 2-out walk in the first inning, but couldn't get anybody past first base. And we'll start things off with Bailey Dowling here in the second. Dowling, the right-handed senior, batting .279, 19 of 68 with 8 runs scored, 3 doubles, 2 homers, and 12 runs driven in. She was 2 of 8 with a double and an RBI against Georgia and had about 3 other hits stolen away from her by great defensive plays by the Bulldogs. First pitch is in there for a called strike, 0-1 on Dowling. The 0-1 is high, 1-1. Alabama softball's upcoming schedule is brought to you by Yellowhammer Brewing Company, Alabama's finest craft brewery. Hit your stride with a refreshing Yellowhammer beer, now available at stores near you. Timeout called before the pitch clock could run out. That's Partain's 1 reset here. Alabama continues its non-conference homestand with another in-state matchup tomorrow. That one's in there for a strike, 1 and 2. As the Tide welcomes UAB to town. 5:50 is the airtime with 6 p.m. first pitch for the Tide and the Blazers. Third meeting of the year between Alabama and UAB. The 1-2, outside, 2 and 2. Alabama also will make a return trip to Samford on April 9th. One of 2 in-state road midweek games in April for Alabama. The 2-2. And that is a ground ball to short, ranging over and throwing late is Hargis. And Bailey Dowling beats out the infield single. So Bailey Dowling gets the first hit of the ball game here for Alabama to lead off the second. And McKay Gidley will run on first now for Bailey Dowling, who showed the speed and the wheels to beat out that infield hit, but not a green light girl is Dowling. So she's replaced by Gidley, and Kendall Clark will step in. Clark batting .306, 11 of 36, 8 runs scored, 2 doubles, a homer, and 4 RBIs on the season. First pitch drops low for ball 1. Was 0 for 5 against Georgia with a walk and a hit by pitch in her first SEC road appearances. The 1-0. Called strike, 1-1. Elsewhere on the Crimson Tide Sports Network, Alabama baseball in Montgomery taking on the Hornets of Alabama State. The 1-1. Clark lines this one, and that's going to fall just foul down the right field line. As Clark just missed extra bases. There as it goes foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Alabama coming off of their series victory against Tennessee to open up SEC play this past weekend, now as high as number 9 and high as at least number 13 in every major college baseball poll. That one comes in high, 2-2. And Alabama currently down 1-0 to Alabama State as they play in the top of the second inning. So still plenty of time for the Crimson Tide. The 2-2 is outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Payoff pitch. Fouled away on a hit and run. We'll do it again. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Which will keep you up to date on that Bama baseball game and everything else going on in college softball here this evening. There are a few games on the slate. It's part of our Out of the Box podcast scoreboard updates. Payoff pitch to Clark. Misses outside for ball 4. They threw down with Gidley running, but it was a walk. So now Alabama has runners on first and second with nobody out for Lauren Essman. Essman batting .269, 7 of 26 with 3 runs scored, 4 runs driven in, a homer, 9 runs driven in on the season. Essman was 0 for 2 with a walk in her 1 start against Georgia. The first pitch swung on and missed for strike 1. We talked to Patrick Murphy in our pregame interview about Essman, who is still working back from the pectoral injury that has kept her out from being able to pitch. Said she may be a week or 2 away from being able to pitch in a game yet, although she was in the bullpen with Lance McMahon before this game. That one's popped up on a bunt. Hartain makes the catch in the circle, so Essman unable to get the bunt down, and there's one gone.
Catcher number 17, Riley Valentine.
But trying to get Essman's bat going again after having a great start to the season before the injury. Have to try it next time as Riley Valentine now steps in. First pitch. Called strike. Valentine batting .200 on the season, 8 of 40. 12 runs scored, 2 homers, 9 runs driven in. She has walked 10 times. The 0-1. Too far outside, 1-1. Valentine was 1 for 2 with a run scored against Georgia. Got the start and got the only non-Sun aided hit against Georgia on Saturday. That one's in there for a strike, 1-2. 1 out, runners on first and second. No scores. We play here in the home half of the second. The 1-2 pitch is high and it bounces away from the catcher. Champion couldn't catch that one cleanly and both runners advance. Again, another what I will believe will be ruled a pass ball. So now 2 runners in scoring position, a 2-2 count on Valentine. The pitch is low and the count's full, 3-2. Gidley got too far off third base and is ruled safe due to obstruction on the throwdown. So Bruce got in the running lane. Would have had Gidley had the obstruction not been called, but obstruction was called, and Gidley is safe.
Samford is challenging the obstruction call at third base.
And as you heard, Tanya Cash, the challenge by Kimball Cassidy. We'll send it to replay review. This replay review brought to you by the University Medical Center with 6 locations in West Alabama. University Medical Center provides comprehensive health care for you and your family. Call 205-348-1770 for an appointment. Should obviously be a big call. Go from runners on second and third and 1 out to just a runner on second with 2 outs. And a base running mistake by the pinch runner, McKay Gidley. Yeah, I thought obstruction was probably the right call there. We'll see if they agree with me. I think Gidley thought the ball had gotten away from the catcher. Valentine had kind of blocked Gidley's view. She took a couple extra steps towards home thinking the ball was out of the catcher's glove, but Champion came up throwing. She's definitely out if obstruction's not the call. And here comes Tanya Cash.
After review, still safe.
Yep, the obstruction is upheld following the review. So now we have a full count, runners on first and second and 1 out. Alabama trying to get on the board first here in the bottom of the second. No score between Samford and Alabama. Retain looks in, the payoff pitch. That's a one-hopper off the third baseman's glove. They'll throw to third. That's not going to get the runner. Coming in to score is Gidley, and that's going to be an RBI for Riley Valentine, and the Crimson Tide leads it 1-0. Second infield hit of the inning. It was on top of Bruce quickly. She was able to get a glove on it and just basically pop it straight up. Hargis came behind her, collected it, but all the runners were safe, and Bama's on the board, up 1-0. So Gidley to third. Gidley scores. Clark to third. Valentine's on first. And Larissa Pruitt to the plate. The first pitch pulls back the bunt. And Valentine still second without a throw. And Samford was protecting against the double steal there. So Valentine gets her third steal and as many opportunities here this season. The 1-0 to Pruitt. Called strike, 1-1. Pruitt batting .211, 8 of 38 with 4 runs scored, a triple and 5 RBIs on the season. Was 0 for 2 against Georgia this past weekend. 1-1 is low, 2-1. I mentioned the Out of the Box Podcast scoreboard update. Check out the latest episode of the Out of the Box Podcast. Wherever you get your podcasts, give us a follow at Out of the Box _pod on the X. 2-1. Pruitt takes a called strike, 2-2. Also, check out the all-new It Just Means More softball podcast from Softball America, featuring Gray and myself live on YouTube on Monday evenings at 6 as we discuss everything going on throughout the entire conference. 2-2 pitch is fouled away. We'll do it again, 2 balls and 2 strikes. A new Out of the Box episode dropped this morning as we recap the week for Alabama softball. Talked with ESPN analyst and former Texas A&M star Tori Vidalis, and had another epic Tom's Hungry from Tallahassee and Athens. So be sure to check that out. 2-2. Pruitt with a ground ball to first off the first baseman's glove, but they'll throw to first to get the out, but coming in to score is Kendall Clark. So the RBI ground out gives Alabama the 2-0 lead. Campbell had to try to backhand that one, reaching across her body. She wasn't able to get it cleanly. She did knock it down, though, and gave it to Squillace, covering from second to get the out. But now back to top of the order, and Jenna Johnson, the first pitch, is a called strike. Johnson's 0 for 1 with a fly out. Valentine's on third. The 0-1. Johnson lines that to right. That's down for a base hit. And the Crimson Tide gets a base hit out of the infield here. Scores the third run of the inning. And Bama leads it 3-0. Gantis came up firing in right field and almost threw it away. Tried to get Johnson at first, but she wasn't able to advance any farther as Callie Hevlin steps in. First pitch is high for ball 1. And also last night on the It Just Means More softball podcast on YouTube, again brought to you by Softball America as we talk about the SEC. Gray and I talked with Tennessee star Kiki Malloy. Like, subscribe, and share. All of that as Hevlin takes that pitch low, 2-0. Hevlin's 0 for 1. She struck out her first time up. So that Out of the Box Podcast scoreboard update. Bottom of the second, elsewhere on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Now 1-1 between Alabama and Alabama State. The 2-0. Low, 3 balls and no strikes. Top 25 action here today. There are a few midweek matchups happening. The 3-0. Hevlin pulls back the bunt, takes a called strike, 3-1. Boston U still ranked in the poll. Got a doubleheader victory over Yale, 7-0 and 7-1. Alabama's weekend opponent, Virginia Tech, traveling to Longwood for a doubleheader. The 3-1 is a ground ball to short. They throw to second to get Johnson. And in the inning, Johnson was going with the pitch, and that actually worked out to Samford's advantage defensively as Hargis was moving over toward the second base bag to cover, and the ball went right to her. So the inning is over. We'll continue that scoreboard update on the other side, but Alabama has taken the lead here in the second as they get 3 runs on 3 hits. There were no errors and 1 runner left on base. We played 2. It's 3-0 Alabama here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. The third inning is presented by Bojangles. Download the new Bojangles app and bring the flavor to your next softball tailgate with chicken, biscuits, and fixings, all by ordering ahead on the convenient Bojangles app. It's Bo time, y'all. We move to the top of the third inning. Alabama with a 3-0 lead over Samford. Tied plating 3 in the second inning to take the lead. 2 up for the Bulldogs here in the third. Smith, Spalachi, and Cothran. 9-1-2. Jocelyn Brisky back out in the circle for the Tide. The first pitch is high for ball 1. One change out in the field for Alabama. Kat Grill is your new left fielder, replacing Jenna Johnson. Called strike. 1-1 now on Smith. Smith, the freshman, batting .214. That one's in there for a strike. 1-2. 3 of 14 with 6 runs scored and 2 RBIs. This is her 8th start of the season. 20th game she's appeared in. The 1-2 is in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mention Alabama's weekend opponent, Virginia. Top 15 squad. They traveled to Longwood. Got a doubleheader victory today, 8-4 and 3-2. The 2-2 pitch is high, 3-2 on Smith. We have an upset situation happening right now in Tulsa. Payoff pitch. Right in there for a called strike 3 on the inside corner. A check swing by Smith, but it was a called strike. 4th strikeout of the game for Brisky, the 3rd looking, and there's 1 gone. Back to the top of the order, and Sarah Squalachi, who singled her first time up, and the first pitch to her is in there for a called strike. Squalachi, a junior from Woodstock, Georgia. They're in the top of the 7th inning, the last chance, as that one's fouled off, 0-2. For number 4, Oklahoma State, the Tulsa Golden Hurricane with a 3-0 lead over the Cowgirls. Be quite the upset. The 0-2 fouled away. We'll do it again, no balls and 2 strikes. Tulsa not bad, but certainly not a team you were expecting to be able to knock off Oklahoma State, who's a top 5 squad. Bottom of the 2nd, Baylor and Houston Christian tied up at 1. The 0-2, she went too far around. Check swing, foul tipped it in the glove, and there's 2 away for Samford here in the 3rd inning. And that brings up Michaela Cothran. Cothran struck out her first time up. Junior from Cumming, Georgia. First pitch, slap foul for strike 1. The only other SEC team in action here today are the Auburn Tigers, as they are at Troy. The 0-1 misses low and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. They're playing in the bottom of the 3rd, and Auburn has a 1-0 lead over the Trojans. The 1-1. Slap foul, 1-2. And to answer your question, yes, Maddie Pinta is pitching for Auburn. Another one we'll keep you up to date on. Also, March Madness has begun. Ooh, that one missed everybody and hit Tanya Cash right on the face mask again. That one was on the fly. And AC Tinka is going to come out and have a quick look at her. She can say she's okay, but that's the 2nd time she's taken one to the face mask. So I have to want to go through Possible percussion protocol there. But yes, the big dance has started with the first four in Dayton. A battle of 16 seeds, Wagner and Howard. They're at the half, and Wagner has a 38-27 lead over the Bison of Howard. The NIT also getting underway this evening. Looks like Tanya Cash is going to be able to keep going. A couple of SEC teams in action in the NIT. Georgia leads Xavier 46-34. North Texas with a 38-31 lead over LSU. And coming up later, it's Colorado State and Virginia in the second game on day one of the first four. That one slap foul. We'll do it again. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Michaela Cothran. Another 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. So Jocelyn Brisky strikes out the side here in the third. First one looking and 2 swinging to get the Bulldogs here with no damage in the third inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and no runners left. We move to the bottom of the third. Still 3-0 Alabama here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. The third inning is presented by Bojangles. Download the new Bojangles app and bring the flavor to your next softball tailgate with chicken, biscuits, and fixings, all by ordering ahead on the convenient Bojangles app. It's bow time, y'all. We move to the home half of the third inning. Alabama with a 3-0 lead over Samford. 2 up for the Tide here in the third. Dukeshire, Cahalan, and Dowling. 3-4-5. Jordan Partain back out for her third inning of work. Alabama 3 runs on 3 hits, no errors, 2 left. Samford no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. And part of a 4-game homestand this week for Alabama. Tide taking on Samford tonight, UAB tomorrow, and then 2 games against Virginia Tech. 6 o'clock on Friday, 5:50 the airtime here on the network. 1 o'clock on Saturday, 12:50 here on CTSN. Gabby Dukeshire steps in, and here comes the first pitch. Misses low for ball 1. Duke walked her first time up. Sophomore from Kindred, North Dakota. 1-0 comes in low, 2 balls and no strikes. An opportunity to take a look at Alabama softball on this date. It is March 19th. The 2-0 misses low, 3-0. And Alabama on this date is 11-3 all time, outscoring opponents 73-37. Bama has had 2 doubleheader sweeps on this date. The 3-0. Dukeshire takes it inside, and that's a 4-pitch walk. Nabby's now walked twice in as many plate appearances here in the ballgame.
Shortstop, number 31.
In 2002, Alabama got a doubleheader sweep over Florida. In 2005, it was a doubleheader sweep over Kentucky. Tide picked up wins over Georgia in 2011, Mississippi State in 2017, and Kentucky in 2022 on this date. It's the first pitch to Kinley Cahalan, low and away for ball one. Cahalan is 0 for 1, lined out hard to first to end the first inning. The 1-0. Cahalan fouls it away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bama did play on this date last season as Arkansas picked up a 5-3 win over the Tide here at the Rhodes House. The 1-1. Cahalan takes that one off the back. Hit her right in between the shoulder blades. And she turned away from it. It was off speed, so Cahalan will take the hit by pitch and head down to first. And Alabama has an opportunity to really put some distance between themselves and Samford here with runners on first and second and nobody out. And looks like that could be the end of the day for Jordan Partain. Is coming out is Jeff Gillespie to take the ball from her, as the Bulldog head coach, Kimball Cassidy, talks to Tanya Cash. So Jordan Partain will give way to the new Samford pitcher. We'll tell you who that is when we get back. Bama leads at 3-0, looking for more, with nobody out. Runners on first and second here in the third on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. With this call to the bullpen, we remind all Crimson Tide fans to stay up to date with all recommended vaccinations. Flu season is here, and COVID-19 continues to affect our community, so don't wait. Vaccinate. The new pitcher for Samford, replacing the starter Jordan Partain, is the righty Sarah Bond. Bond, sophomore from Wiggins, Mississippi, on the year, has a 4.92 ERA and a 1-6 record. 12th appearance. She's pitched 42 and 2/3 innings, 48 hits, 39 runs, 30 earned. She's walked 22, struck out 29. Opponents hitting .282 against Bond on the year. She comes in now with runners on first and second, nobody out, and Bailey Dowling to the plate, who singled and scored her first time up. First pitch, and that's lined into center, and that's going to fall for a base hit. Dukeshire rounds third. She will come in to score, and that's an RBI single for Bailey Dowling, and the Crimson Tide leads at 4-0. Cahalan made it to second, so it's going to be once again runners on first and second with nobody out. Partain went 2 innings, gave up 3 hits, now 4 runs. They're all earned, 3 walks and a strikeout, 61 pitches and 30 strikes thrown by Partain. She is responsible for Cahalan on second. Looks like we are going to see another pinch runner for Bailey Dowling, which will end her day, as she's already been pinch run for once today. And Kristen White will run. Maybe she'll stay in the game. We'll see. As there's going to have to be some lineup shuffling by Patrick Murphy after this inning. Kendall Clark to the plate now. Runners on first and second, still nobody out. First pitch to the backstop, and everybody will move up 60 feet on the wild pitch. And this has been the issue for Samford this year. Again, entering today's game with a 6-19 record. Just the pitching has not been able to keep them in ball games. The 1-0. Called strike 1-1 on Clark, who walked and scored her first time up. Clark, a junior from Humboldt, Iowa, the transfer from Des Moines Area Community College. The 1-1. Inside, 2-1. The 2-1 pitch. And that one's roped into center, and that's down for a base hit. One run will score. Here comes White. She will slide in, and she'll be tagged out. Clark will take second. And a good relay by the Samford defense keeps that to just one RBI for Kendall Clark. It's now 5-0 Alabama. And to throw out Kristen White at home, pretty impressive, as it was Cawthron coming up throwing, and she just threw it straight to home. And nice catch by Champion. Tag was applied, but on replay, it's closer than I thought it was, and now Alabama is going to challenge. Tanya Cash just said challenging the out at home plate. I do wonder if they are challenging whether or not obstruction should have been called on Champion, the catcher, at home, or if the tag was applied, or both. Either way, there's going to be a runner on second. Again, a really good throw by Cawthron. And it was a head-first slide, and Kristen White kind of did a hook slide around, and her hand might have got in there. The tag was applied to White's left shoulder as she was sliding in, but the glove looks like it hit the ground first before it bounced up and tagged White. And if that's the case, White may have gotten that hand underneath it. So I'm looking at the replay from our friends at the SEC Network and the monitor in the booth. Obstruction should not be an issue. Oh, wow. Say, to the naked eye, I thought she was out pretty clearly, but now on the slowed down replay, it's a lot closer. Honestly, I think she's still out, but it's really close. We'll see what Tanya Cash says.
After review, the call is out.
So the call is upheld. White is thrown out at home. Alabama does lead at 5-0. All 5 of those runs charged to Partain.
Designated player number 9, Lauren Esmond.
There's one out now with a runner on second as Clark took second on the throw. And Lauren Esmond to the plate. Esmond popped out her first time up, trying to put down a bunt. The first pitch is high for ball 1. Esmond, the graduate from Kalamazoo, Michigan, the transfer from the University of Michigan. The 1-0. That's a high chopper back to the pitcher, and they will throw to third, and Clark beat it out. Head first slide by Kendall Clark. She slid underneath the tag, and the fielder's choice, Bond, chose poorly.
Catcher number 17,
As Clark Slid in underneath the tag head first. Esmond reached first on the fielder's choice. And Riley Valentine to the plate. Still one out. First pitch. Outside for ball one. I think it's probably the right decision for Bond with Clark going to try to get that runner at third, but had to be quicker. The 1-0 pitch. Valentine lines this to center, and that's going to be caught by Cothran. Tagging up at third is Clark. She'll come in to score, and that's a sacrifice fly RBI for Riley Valentine. And Bama leads at 6-0.
Center fielder, number 11, Larissa Pruitt.
Esmond stayed at first. And they'll bring up Larissa Pruitt. First pitch. Pruitt pulls back the bunt. It's high for ball one. Pruitt had an RBI ground out her first time up. Six runs on 5 hits for the Tide here as we play in the third inning. 1-0 is in there for a strike at the knees, 1-1. That one's too far outside, 2-1. Out of the box podcast scoreboard update. It is a final from Tulsa, and Tulsa gets the upset 3-0 victory over number 4 Oklahoma State. The 2-1 is popped up, and Champion never saw it, and it falls foul back behind home plate. So the count remains 2-2. I've heard some people question why Alabama's still number 7 in the RPI. Number 1, they had a big win. You know, that one win against Georgia pretty much offset the 2 losses on the road to a top 5 team, as that one comes in low, 3-2. But also there are no bad losses for Alabama this year. If your worst loss is to a South Alabama team who's a top 50 RPI team, you're just fine. Tulsa in the same vein. Payoff pitch. Pruitt fouls it off. We'll do it again, 3-2. And it's also on the road. So, you know, it's one of those scores that'll raise some eyebrows, but I don't think it's going to just destroy Oklahoma State's resume or anything. But again, it goes to show you got to be ready to play no matter who you're playing or when you're playing them. As Pruitt fouls this one off, and it will hit up against the netting. And the catch made by athletic trainer A.C. Tinka. The Alabama dugout will do it again. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Bama baseball on top of the 4th. They've now taken a 4-1 lead over Alabama State in Montgomery. Another 3-2 to Pruitt. And Pruitt gives this one a ride to deep right field, ranging back and making the catch up against the wall is Yantis for out number 3 to retire the side, as Pruitt gave that one a ride, but comes up just short here to end the third inning. But Alabama doubles the lead as they score 3 more runs on 2 hits. There were no errors and 1 runner left on base. We've played 3. It's 6-0 Alabama here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. The fourth inning is presented by Nukes. At Nukes, your food is always made to order, an open kitchen with the freshest ingredients. Visit them locally on University Boulevard or order online at nukes.com. Nukes is a proud supporter of Alabama softball. We head to the top of the fourth inning. Alabama with a 6-0 lead over Samford. Due up for the Bulldogs here in the fourth. Shaw, Campbell, and Champion. 3-4-5 against Jocelyn Brisky in the circle for the Crimson Tide. Brisky's gone 3 innings. 1 hit, no runs, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts, 58 pitches and 37 strikes thrown by the freshman from Phoenix, Arizona. Overall, 6 runs on 5 hits, no errors, 3 left for Alabama. No runs on a hit, no errors, and 2 runners left on base for the Bulldogs. First pitch from Brisky to Olivia Shaw is a called strike, 0-1. Shaw's 0 for 1. She grounded out her first time up. Freshman from Houston, Georgia. The 0-1. Little outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. One change out in the field. Emma Broadfoot now playing third base for Bailey Dowling, who had been pinch run for now twice today. That one's outside. 2-1. The 2-1 pitch. Oh. I really don't know where that missed, but that'll be ball 3. Riley Valentine held it there. Said, Tanya, you sure? The 3-1. That's in there for a strike, 3-2. Payoff pitch, high for ball 4. So a leadoff walk to Olivia Shaw starts things off here in the fourth inning. Alabox Podcast scoreboard update. Top of the 5th inning at Troy. Auburn with a 2-0 lead over the Trojans. A Wohlers home run and a Weidra single have plated the 2 runs for the Tigers. As I mentioned, earlier, Maddie Pinta has pitched all 4 innings so far for the Tigers. That one is hammered to deep left field. Grill will range back, makes a leaping attempt, but that one is a 2-run homer for Katie Campbell. And Samford's on the board. It's now 6-2 Alabama. Yeah, that one just hung over the plate.
Catcher number 25, Logan Champion.
And Campbell took advantage. To put Samford on the board. Their second hit of the ball game, coming off a leadoff walk. Plates 2. It's now 6-2 Alabama. And the first pitch to Logan Champion in there for a called strike. Champion 0 for 1, grounded out her first time up. Junior from Marietta, Georgia. One hopper back to Brisky. She has it. Quick throw over, and there's one gone. In the first 4 in Dayton, Wagner continues to lead Howard by 10, 57-47.
Third baseman number 4, Greer Bruce.
Again, the second game of that first 4 will be Colorado State and Virginia coming up a little later on this evening. The first pitch, to Greer Bruce is swung on a miss for strike 1. Georgia still leads Xavier 54-40. 6:28 left in the game there in the first round of the NIT. Bruce takes that one low, 1-1. 13-13 left in the game in Baton Rouge, and North Texas with a 58-45 lead over LSU. Fly ball to center on the run, making the catch in the gap is Larissa Pruitt, and there's 2 gone.
Shortstop number 14, Lindsay Hargis.
Now with 2 out, nobody on, Lindsay Hargis steps in. She walked her first time up and fouls the first pitch back. 4 strike 1. Hargis, the right-handed junior from Natchitoches, Louisiana. Transfer from Memphis. That drops in for a strike 0-2. Actually, I mispronounced that. It's Natchitoches, Louisiana. The 0-2. High, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Learned that from the new head coach at Northwestern State. The 1-2. Fouled away. We'll do it again. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Lacey Prejean, former Alabama great. Part of the Patrick Murphy coaching tree. We talked to her in softball media days from the Alabox podcast over the winter. As that one misses low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 out, nobody on. Samford has answered Alabama's 3 in the 3rd with 2 of their own here in the 4th. It's still 6-2 though, Alabama. The 2-2 pitch. A little bit high and the count's full, 3-2. Payoff pitch. Fouled off. We'll do it again. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And Hargis did something there I think we're going to see more batters start doing when Brisky is in the circle, calling their 1 timeout. Try to throw off the rhythm. Brisky works quickly. Payoff pitch comes in. Oh, a little bit high and inside for ball 4. So Hargis draws her 2nd walk of the game here with 2 outs. And Samford trying to stay in the game here with Ansley Antis stepping in. She struck out looking her first time up. First pitch. Called strike. Antis, a senior from Powder Springs, Georgia. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. On the drop. Count moves to 0-2. The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Got over their eyes, and that'll do it for the Bulldogs here in the 4th inning. Samford gets on the board with a 2-run homer by Katie Campbell. They get 2 runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. We move to the bottom of the 4th, 6-2 Alabama here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. Nukes. At Nukes, your food is always made to order in an open kitchen with the freshest ingredients. Visit them locally on University Boulevard or order online at nukes.com. Nukes is a proud supporter of Alabama softball. We move to the bottom of the fourth inning. Alabama with a 6-2 lead over Samford. Due up for the Tide here in the fourth. It'll be the top of the order. Grill, Hevlin, and Dukeshire. 1, 2, 3 against Sarah Bond. Out now for her first full inning of relief. She came in last inning, gave up some inherited runs and one of her own.
Number 32, Cat Grill.
Now Cat Grill will get her first at-bat of the ball game. She came in as a defensive replacement for Jenna Johnson after the second inning. First pitch, low and away for ball one. Grill, the senior from Tuscaloosa, batting .500 on the year, 4 of 8, 4 runs scored and 2 RBIs. The 1-0. Called strike, 1-1. And Partain got the start, went 2 innings, 3 hits, 5 runs, all earned, 3 walks, and a strikeout. Bond, in an inning, has given up 2 hits and 1 run. That one's slapped foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Grill. The 1-2. Grill slaps that one foul at the plate. And Grill was called for being out of the box. Slapped it foul. Yeah, I mean, that is... Grill very rarely would step out of the box. Well, I'll watch the replay and see if she did. Okay, yep, she was. She was out of the box. She was in heavily in the river.
Number 22,
I think Patrick Murphy's issue was, I think some of the Samford slappers have been doing the same thing and haven't gotten the call there. But the out of the box call is made on Grill, and there's one gone. And now Callie Hevlin takes the first pitch for ball one. Hevlin's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. Comes in too high, 2-0 on Hevlin. Pulls back the bunt, takes a pitch high, and the count's full. Excuse me, the count moves to 3-0. That one comes in low, and Hevlin walks on 4 straight pitches. That's 4th walk of the day by Samford pitching and a hit by pitch as well. And you're just going to have to play the game if you're Alabama and be patient, because the numbers show the Samford pitching staff will put you on base with the walks. First pitch to Abby Dukeshire is low and away for ball one. As Abby Dukeshire has done today in 2 plate appearances, she has drawn 2 base on balls. Dukeshire pulls back the bunt, takes a called strike this time, 1-1. Timeout called before the pinch clock could run out. which you're allowed to do once. The 1-1. Dukeshire lines this one to deep left, and that's going to hit up against the wall. Hevlin will take third. Dukeshire's on second, and that's a hard hit double by Abby Dukeshire. Definitely the hardest hit ball by anyone here so far today, outside of the home run by Katie Campbell. And Alabama now has 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out on the first extra base hit of the ball game by the Crimson Tide. Now Patrick Murphy will go to the scorecard and send Marley Giles out to second base, where she will run for Abby Dukeshire, and would not be shocked if she stays in the ball game to play first, but we'll see.
Your attention, please. Entering the game to run for Alabama, number 34, Marley Giles.
So Giles now on second, Hevlin on third. There's 1 out, and Kinley Cahalan will step to the plate. Cahalan's 0 for 1. She lined out in the first, was hit by a pitch and scored in the third. Alabama trying to add to the 6-2 lead. Here with 1 out in the bottom of the 4th inning. Tried to answer Samford's 2 runs in the top of the 4th. The first pitch is low and away. 4-1. Well, we have a second here as the inning continues. To go over what Friday looks like on the Crimson Tide Sports Network, as the 1-0 is inside 2-0. Quite the busy day, as we'll start things off with the Alabama women's basketball team in the first round of the NCAA tournament, taking on Florida State out in Austin, Texas. Bama the 8 seed, Florida State the 9, as that pitch is low and away, 3-0. 4:25 will be the airtime for that one. Bama baseball in Athens, as softball was last weekend, taking on Georgia. That's a 4:55 airtime on the network. But we're not done. The 3-0 is a called strike, 3-1. Bama men's basketball, the airtime for the matchup with the College of Charleston from Spokane will be at 5:30 on Friday. The 3-1 pitch, Cahalan with a fly ball, and that's going to fall fair down the left field line. 1 run will come in to score. Giles is on third, Cahalan's on second, and the Samford shortstop and left fielder, Hargis and Smith, had that ball fall right in between them and fell in fair ground. So a unconventional RBI double for Kinley Cahalan brings home Hevlin. Giles is on third. There's still 1 out. It's 7-2 Alabama. Emma Broadfoot getting her first at bat. First pitch is low and away for ball 1. Broadfoot came in defensively last inning after Bailey Dowling was pinch run for the second time. The 1-0. Called strike, 1-1. And of course, we will have Alabama softball here on the network. 5:50 the airtime for Alabama and Virginia Tech. So we will have 4 sports going at once here on CTSN. Broadfoot. Fly ball to center, ranging over and making the catch is Cothran. Tagging up from third is Giles. And the throw in got a piece of Kinley Cahalan between second and third. She's laughing about it. She's okay. But that's a sacrifice fly RBI for Emma Broadfoot. And Alabama now leads it 8-2. We've seen Cothran's arm earlier today when she threw out Kristen White at the plate and got Cahalan on the leg. As Kendall Clark steps in, the first pitch is outside for ball 1. Cahalan looked like she was playing dodgeball there, but wasn't able to use the 5 Ds. Dip, dive, dodge. None of them. The 1-0. Called strike. 1-1. Two outs, runner on second. The 1-1. Clark takes that one high and away. 2-1. Clark 1 for 1 on the day. Walked and scored in the second. RBI single and scored in the third. The 2-1. Clark fouls it off. 2-2. Would also like to point out that Kendall Clark does represent the heading into run roll territory run. Alabama was able to score a couple more runs. It would bring up a last chance situation for Samford in the 5th. The 2-2 pitch. Clark tomahawks this one to deep center field. That one is going to hit up against the wall. Clark will round first, head to second, where she'll stand up. Cahalan will come in to score, and Kendall Clark gets his third double of the inning for Alabama, and it's now 9-2 Crimson Tide. I mean, Clark just absolutely tomahawked that one. Pitch was high and outside. Kendall said, that's just where I want it. And she gets her second RBI of the day, bringing home Cahalan. Lauren Espin was due up, but now it's going to be KJ Haney getting an at-bat here. KJ on the year is 0 of 9 with an RBI. Senior from Douglasville, Georgia. Another cool thing about the trip this past weekend, got to go to Jayla Torrance's house in Dothan on Tuesday, and then stopped at KJ Haney's house in Douglasville on the way home. Got some great homemade ice cream. The banana, just superb. First pitch. This is low for ball 1. Also a fried cottage cheese appetizer. Never had that before. Very good. For that homemade ice cream. 1-0. Lil outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Bama 3 runs in each inning from the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th so far. They lead at 9-2. The 2-0 pitch is inside for ball 3. It bounces away from the catcher, and Clark will take third. See if KJ has the green light on 3-0. Nope, low and away for ball 4. Haney never got to take the bat off her shoulder. And Espin will re-enter.
Re-entering for Alabama, number 9, Lauren Espin.
To run for KJ at first. And then we'll bring up Riley Valentine. Valentine singled and scored in the 2nd, had a sacrifice fly in the 3rd. And I think Riley Valentine will face a new pitcher for Samford. Yep, Sarah Bond will give way. We'll tell you about the new Bulldog pitcher. After this, it's 9-2 Alabama. 2 outs, runners on the corners here in the 4th inning. We'll tell you about the new Samford pitcher after this here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. The new pitcher for Samford, the third of the day, is the freshman righty from Carrollton, Georgia, Carly Fuller. She comes in to replace Sarah Bond. Fuller on the year has a 4.42 ERA and a 1-3 record. This is her 9th appearance. She's pitched 25 1/3 innings, 17 hits, 20 runs, 16 earned, 25 walks, 23 strikeouts. The opponent's batting .193 against Fuller on the year. She comes in for Bond to win an inning and 2/3, 5 hits, 4 runs, all earned, 2 walks, and a strikeout. She is responsible for the 2 runners on base. 3 runs are already in for Alabama here in the 4th. They lead it 9-2. 9 runs on 8 hits for the Tide, 2 runs on 2 hits for Samford. And Riley Valentine has a chance to make it to where Alabama can end this game early with an RBI here. Again, Valentine 1 for 1, singled and scored in the 1st, and had to sacrifice fly RBI in the 3rd. Essman's on 1st, Clark on 3rd. And the pitch. Low for ball 1. Two walks and a strikeout, 45 pitches, 22 strikes thrown by Bond. The 1-0 in the dirt, 2 balls and no strikes. Elsewhere on the Crimson Tide Sports Network, Bama baseball with a 4-2 lead now over Alabama State. They play in the top of the 6th in in Montgomery. To Valentine is a called strike, 2-1. Top of the 6th in Troy, Auburn still with a 2-0 lead over the Trojans, the only other SEC softball team in action here this evening. 2-1 is low, 3-1. And in the first 4 in Dayton, Wagner still with a lead over Howard. It's now 67-60, a minute 48 left in the first of 67 games in the men's NCAA basketball tournament. The 3-1, Valentine takes it high for ball 4, and now Alabama has the bases loaded with 2 outs. Will be Larissa Pruitt stepping in. The 9-hole, the only spot in the lineup that hasn't reached base for Alabama here in the ball game, although Pruitt does have an RBI ground out. First pitch. Misses outside for ball 1. The 0-1 pitch, Pruitt takes it low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Larissa, the sophomore from Hartselle, Alabama. Low and away, 2-1. Looking for a big hit here to kind of get herself in the groove. She's had a triple this season, but hasn't been able to get a whole lot consistently going with the bat. Should be a great time to do it right here. The 2-1 pitch. Pruitt holds off on a check swing, but it's a called strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes on her now. Fuller looks in, the 2-2 pitch. Pruitt takes this one to shallow right. That's going to fall. A diving attempt comes up empty for Yantis. 1 run will score. 2 runs come in. Valentine holds up at 3rd. And that's a 2 RBI double for Larissa Pruitt. The 9th batter of the inning brings in 2 more. It's now 11-2 Crimson Tide. Yantis gave it good effort, but the head first dive, not able to come up with it.
Attention please, now batting for Alabama, number 6, Kinley Pate.
And that will bring up Kinley Pate against her former team, the Samford transfer, getting the at-bat here. With Alabama leading it by 9 with 2 outs, runners on second and third. The first pitch, Pate slaps it foul. 4 strike 1. This is Kinley Pate's first career at-bat as a member of the Crimson Tide. Sophomore from Northport, transferred in from Samford this season. 10th batter of the inning. The 0-1 is in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pate has appeared in 19 games as a pinch runner. The 1-1. Went too far around on the check slap. Count moves to 1-2. The 1-2. Pate held off on the check swing there, I do believe. Yes, it's low and inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So basically the bench has been emptied out for Patrick Murphy. The only other position player that has not seen action here today is Lauren Johnson. The 2-2. Pate called strike 3. Held off on the slap, but that'll do it for Alabama here in the 4th inning. Alabama gets 5 runs on 4 hits that were all doubles. No errors and 2 runners left on base. We head now to the top of the 5th inning. The last chance for Samford as the Crimson Tide leads it 11-2. Samford needs to score at least 2 runs to keep the game going here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from their field. The 5th inning is presented by Yellowhammer Brewing Company, Alabama's finest craft brewery. Hit your stride with a refreshing Yellowhammer beer, now available at stores near you. Change in the circle for Alabama as we head to the top of the 5th inning. The Crimson Tide with an 11-2 lead over Samford. So Samford has to score 2 runs here in this top of the 5th to keep the game going. Alex Salter is the new pitcher, replacing Jocelyn Brisky. In the first pitch to Addison Smith is in there for a called strike. It's 9-1-2 due up for the Bulldogs here. Smith, Squillace, and Cothran. check swing there on one in the dirt. She didn't go. 1 ball, 1 strike. So Pate stays in the ball game. She is your new left fielder. Abby Duxer did re-enter, so she's now at first. As that pitch comes in high, 2-1. Along with Alex Salter. Now in the circle, redshirt junior from Fort Myers. That one misses maybe a little low, 3-1. Salt on the year with a 3.50 ERA, no record, 6th appearance. She's pitched 4 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, 2 earned. No walks and 2 strikeouts, and that's a ground ball to second. Evelyn ranges over, makes a stop, and the throw for out number 1. Brisky went 4 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 3 walks, and 7 strikeouts, 82 pitches and 52 strikes. Thrown by the freshman from Phoenix. Now back to the top of the order, Sarah Squillaci, first pitch. Misses low for ball 1. Squillaci is 1 for 2, led off the game with a single in the first, struck out in the third. The 1-0. Misses low, 2 balls and no strikes. Called strike there, 2-1. Called strike on the outside corner, 2-2 now on Squillaci. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Salter gets the K. And Samford down to their final out. As Alabama looks to get back on the right side of a run rule here.
Center fielder number 33, Michaela Cothran.
Michaela Cothran is the last chance for the Bulldogs. She's struck out twice, once looking and once swinging. The first pitch is in there for a called strike after Cothran pulled back the bunt. 0-1. Fouled off. 0-2. Bama baseball elsewhere on the network. An 8-2 lead over Alabama State. They're in the bottom of the 6th. The 0-2 pitch. Low and away. 1-2. In Troy, Auburn still leads Troy 2-0. The 1-2. Fouled off. Cothran stays alive with a slap. One, 2. That one drops in for a called strike 3. Buckled Cothran's knees, and that will do it as Salter comes in. Gets them 1-2-3 here in the 5th inning. And your final score is Alabama 11, Samford 2 in 5 innings via the run rule. With the win, Alabama improves to 23-5 overall. Samford falls to 6-20. The winning pitcher for Alabama is Jocelyn Brisky. She's now 4-0 on the year. Jordan Partain will take the loss. She's now 3-9. We'll take a timeout. Come back with the Fast Signs of Tuscaloosa post-game reports as Alabama gets the 11-2 win over Samford in 5 innings here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.